clouds have just begun to creep in. We expect a few showers before the afternoon is over. Just signed this week, Danny Kite. He is the first kickoff specialist signed by the Colts. And he kicks it deep to Dwight Stone, who gathers it in at the 3. And Stone across the 20 out to the 27-yard line. So Ray Lucas and the New York Jets with good field position following the Stone kickoff. He is 27 years of age. He's in his 4th year in the league. 1 year with Bill Parcells in New England. 15 games a year ago, but he gets his first start at quarterback right now.
And Verne, you can hear the crowd. The first time that people here actually realize that Ray Lucas is getting the start. As we mentioned, Bill Parcells didn't make up his mind until last night to sit down Rick Meyer and didn't tell either Lucas or Meyer until earlier this morning.
Backs in the eye behind Lucas. Wayne Corbett also back in the lineup. Play action. They're going to go deep to Keyshawn Johnson. That will arouse the crowd early on. 17-yard gain on Ray Lucas's first pass completion of this season. Elliott Jenkins, Mawai, the rookie Randy Thomas, and Fabini up front. Wayne Corbett back. He broke a foot the last preseason game. His first action of this year. And Eric Green, who has been a disappointment at tight end. Bill Parcells said to Dan and me before the game, I just need to find a spark. Thus the reason to start Ray Lucas. Here's a draw play. The handoff goes to Bernie Parmalee, and he is gathered in as he nears the 50-yard line. The tackle made by Jeff Burris. Check the Indianapolis defense under new coordinator Vic Fangio. And they've made some changes. King, Whittington, Ellis Johnson, and Bratsky, the former Giant, up front. Michael Barber is the starter in the middle. A rookie, Mike Peterson, gets his second start on the outside. Burris, Belzer, Chad Cota, who's been injured, and little Tyrone Poole complete the secondary. Jim Mora in his second full season as head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Put that in the slot. They hand it off to Curtis Martin. He's got good blocking help as he heads down inside the 45 to the 43, and Michael Barber makes the tackle. Ray Lucas, 15 games on the practice squad under Parcells in New England. His first year, he played collegiately at Rutgers. As a matter of fact, started games in this stadium his junior season as a quarterback. This served for 1 year as Rutgers home field.
And he's getting the call through his earpiece, but you can see he immediately refers to that wristband on his left forearm. And that was not a casual glance at the wristband, Verne. He was working that thing hard.
Here's the empty backfield on 1st and 10. A 3-4-man rush. Lucas goes deep for Johnson, who tries to make an acrobatic catch, and he is belted by Belzer, and Keyshawn Johnson is still down. Ray Lucas laid him out.
He did lay him out. Keyshawn Johnson was wide open. And you can understand a little bit of an adrenaline rush from somebody getting his first start. But look how open Johnson is and lays the ball. And Jason Belzer, one of the hardest hitting safeties in the league. And Johnson still flat on his back. He almost caught it. But boy, it would have been tough to survive a bang like that from Belzer. And Keyshawn Johnson still down. Lucas just a little too much juice on that. Completed his first pass of the game, and that was a helmet-to-helmet hit. And no wonder Johnson's still suffering.
We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
All right, Captain, we're going to have a coin toss now. This is the team. We'll call it in the air. We want a good, clean game. We're all professionals here. Does anyone have change for $1?
What? Want to get away? Now you can. For only $99 or less, you can fly coast to coast when you purchase by November 3rd and travel October 5th through March 31st.
You are now free to move about the country.
Fellas.
Ooh.
It's green, it stinks. And hey, boss! Marty! Marty! Hey, Marty! Who buys this stuff? It stinks!
Well, Fletcher, the people who buy that stinky cheese also buy 92% of the miniature vegetables we sell. Wow, look at the margins on miniature vegetables.
How can you know that?
She's just making it up.
No, I'm not.
Boy, you're sweating like crazy. You got TV cameras all over you.
We asked the hottest pros under the sun to switch antiperspirant.
Invisible solid?
What's that? Degree Invisible Solid is body heat activated with a clear difference.
Right there. See, there's no white stuff.
Degree works hard but never shows.
You gotta be cool.
One name.
Name's Bond. James Bond.
One number. No equal.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
The James Bond 007 collection. Own them all on VHS and special edition DVD.
Where there's a will,
Robert, you have a will.
Why, what did you hear?
there's a Ray.
How much do you get if I die?
800,000.
That was a little fast.
All new Raymond, PBS Monday.
As he was helped to a sitting position, we could read Keyshawn Johnson's lips, and he said, "I want to walk," and stood with assistance and walked off by himself.
Well, let's take a look at this one more time at regular speed. There's Jason Belzer from the left, and it ends up being a helmet-to-helmet hit. It's really hard to say that Belzer, that's what he intended to do, was hit Johnson on the helmet.
Here's second down and 10, and Lucas for the pump fake. He will run, and he scrambles inside the 35, down at the 32, close for a first down. Cornelius Bennett, number 97, made the tackle. Well, we chatted with Ray Lucas Friday, and he said, "I'm not afraid to tuck it and run. It's what I do best."
No, and it's exactly, that falls into that spark category that Bill Parcells talked about. And also, I doubt he spent a lot of time working on his hook slide. I'm not sure we'll be seeing a lot of that out of Ray Lucas. This is a guy that just tried to make his way and find a home on NFL rosters by playing on special teams. This guy would cover kickoffs, punts. It didn't make any difference. And boy, you love a story like that where a guy gets his shot finally. Unfortunately, at Rick Meyer's expense.
Here's the measurement for the first down. See if Lucas, he did not get enough.
You can understand, though, Verne, what Bill Parcells was thinking. The performance by Rick Meyer on Monday night, he looked lost. He couldn't find open receivers. He, as Bill Parcells said, he would get himself out of trouble and then get himself right back into trouble. He would do something good, and then he would follow it up by making a major mistake. And this is a team at 1-4 where if they lose today, for all intents and purposes, their season is over as far as making a run at the playoffs. So
The whistle, Kevin.
you have to applaud Bill Parcells. At least he's trying something.
Well, he said earlier in the week, "I can't just sit here and do nothing." Third and a foot. That's Richie Anderson in motion. Play fake, bootleg, Lucas. That's good for the first down to Fred Baxter, the second-string tight end. Been hobbled by injuries, and that's good enough to move the chain. Jeff Burris makes the tackle.
Put him in motion, put him on the perimeter, let him stretch the defense a little bit, and he delivered that ball beautifully on the run to a moving target there in Baxter. So actually, with the exception of the one overthrow to Keyshawn Johnson, this has been a pretty good start so far for Ray Lucas.
First down and 10. Curtis Martin going left, looking for help, and there is not much there. Well, we saw Keyshawn Johnson go down. Let's get an update. Here's Bonnie Bernstein.
All right, Verne, the word on Keyshawn is that he just got hit in the head. They didn't say anything about a concussion, but his return is uncertain at this point. An interesting note, Dan, you talked about the adrenaline that Ray Lucas had. I spoke with Vinny Testaverde right before the game. I said, "Tell me about this kid." And he said his biggest problem is, just like Brett Favre, he gets really, really hyped up in the first quarter. And if he can calm down, he's pretty solid after that, Verne.
You know, Bonnie, it's interesting because Ray Lucas told us he talks to Vinny Testaverde every day. In the whirlpool during treatment. Here's a quick flip to Quinn Early, and they're down to the 10-yard line. And Keyshawn Johnson was talking about Ray Lucas because there has been endless speculation this week that he might get the start. Keyshawn Johnson said, "I'll tell you what it is. He's got a spark about him. He's been here for 3 years, and we all like him a lot, know him well."
And right here is, as Bill Parcells called him, a relentless competitor, lobbying his head coach for a way back into the game. Keyshawn Johnson working Parcells right now. Let me go, coach.
Third and short, Fred Baxter.
Can you spell false start?
Richie Anderson may have joined him, so it could be either one.
Prior to the snap, False start, 84, offense, 5 yards, still third down.
Well, this will bring Johnson and the passing offense back onto the field. Stayed on the sidelines in that 3rd and short as they were going to try to power the football. And Fred Baxter trying to complain his way out of this one. Good luck, is right.
Parmalee goes wide to the left, top of the screen. And Dietrich Ward is split wide right. Crevette in the slot, one of the best third down receivers in the game. And they go to Crevette, who can't hang on. It's incomplete. Cornelius Bennett, who has been playing some really good football for Indianapolis, was defending.
Well, they blitz Ray Lucas, as you would expect them to do. Ray reads the blitz. Crevette reads the blitz. He breaks off his pattern, gets open in a hurry, and look how beautifully this ball is thrown. And Wayne Crevette didn't even get a hand on that, it appeared. It went all the way in and bounced off his midsection. Very well executed play right up to the catch.
That will bring on John Hall to attempt his longest field goal of this season, 43 yards. Tom Tuchel will hold, and John Hudson snaps it back. That one's straight. Oh, hit the post. Looked like it was going to slice back inside. So an impressive opening drive by Ray Lucas and the New York Jets comes to naught with a doink.
Grandpa? Hey, boo-boo.
The Volkswagen Jetta, completely redesigned to give you even more of that same old feeling.
Introducing Blue from American Express, a whole new kind of credit card.
The oxygen mask will be released, and in case of a sudden craving for the new Chicken Club from Burger King, an emergency pouch in the seat back in front of you contains one sandwich.
Hey, that's my sandwich.
Give me a sandwich, lady! Just give me a sandwich!
Everybody's craving the new Chicken Club. After all, it's a masterpiece of all white meat chicken, crispy bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Burger King. Have it your way.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Budweiser, and by Volkswagen.
John Hall finds the left upright, so we are still scoreless. Indianapolis gets the ball for the first time at their own 34. Peyton Manning is off to a terrific start in this his second season. See, last week against Miami, 3 touchdowns and only 1 interception. This is Peyton in motion. Manning out of the backfield to Edwin James, gets a block from Paul Shields and is out to the 39-yard line. Manning, the #1 draft pick last year, bothered by interceptions in his rookie season. He threw 28. That has not been a problem for him this time around. He's thrown only 6 in the first 4 games. And has a seeming grasp of what the Colts are trying to accomplish that is enviable. Took every snap last year. Double tight end set. Here's the toss to Edwin James. And the 4th pick in this year's draft out to the 42 before he was stopped by Aaron Glenn. Now let's check this Colts offense that is a part of what's going on in Indianapolis. An offensive line that has allowed only 2 sacks so far this season, both last week in the loss to Miami. Edwin James. Peyton gets the start for E.G. Green. Harrison's having a wonderful year. And it's 3rd and 3. They'll go from the shotgun. Good protection for Manning. Flips it out for Peyton, who can't hang on. He would have been short of the first down at any rate, as Ray Mickens was there covering. And let's check the Jet defense as they give way to the special teams unit. Here are the front three. At linebacker, Mo Lewis goes all the way. Jones, Cox, and Pfeiffer will rotate. And Aaron Glenn will shadow Marvin Harrison today in the secondary. Check number 26, Omar Stoutmeyer. He starts for an injured Steve Atwater, who is inactive today. That was a game day decision. They thought perhaps they'd get Atwater back, pulled a hammy on Wednesday, but he is not dressed. Short punt from Hunter Smith. And it's taken by Deidre Ward out to the 33-yard line. 34-yard punt. And 8 on the return. Ray Lucas was 3 of 5 on his opening drive.
Yeah! No! He's got a punt!
Guess I'll have the steak. That was interesting.
The Volkswagen Jetta. Sometimes everything just comes together. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Their kids fell in love. Now can the rich learn to mingle with the working class?
You might be looking at him across the Thanksgiving table.
Then he'll have a front row seat when I blow my brains out.
Love and Money, CBS Friday.
Jets get their second offensive possession. Scoreless first quarter. Doubleheader for you next week on CBS, Week 7. In the early game, Dan and I will be in New England. Many of you get to see the Broncos against New England. And in Game 2, the Jets, Oakland, or Buffalo, Seattle. And it begins with this quartet. Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry Glanville. NFL Today, that's next Sunday. First down and 10. Lucas with the cross to Curtis Martin. Richie Anderson leading the way. Curtis Martin rumbling down the sideline. He got by Chad Cota, who had a chance for the tackle after a modest gain, and it turns into a 24-yard pickup.
Well, Chad Cota, starting today at strong safety, has a high ankle sprain, and the Colts are going to see how much playing time they can get out of him. But you can see when it came time to push off, there wasn't much there from Cota. And look at the blocking up front, and what help. Is that Wayne Corbett on the outside? He ties his guy up pretty well. Richie Anderson gets the block at the point of attack, and Ray Lucas needs that more than anything.
Here's Johnson back in the lineup, and he is popped early by Jeff Burris, number 20. And the stop is made at the 38-yard line. Keyshawn Johnson.
If Curtis Martin and the front line of the Jets can come through with a running game today against this Colts defense, Ray Lucas has a real chance to make something happen. Corbett coming back. We know Johnson is strong. Corbett coming back. We saw him drop a pass right to him in the opening series. You know it's going to take him a while to get his sea legs back underneath him. Curtis Martin could be the key guy here today, Verne.
They'll go back to Martin here. The draw play, the lead block from Richie Anderson. And that's positive yardage inside the 35. Tackle is made by Michael Barber. Tyrone Poole also there. Numbers 53 and 38. Now Larry Chester comes on, and Bertrand Berry for the Colts. And it is short of the first down. It'll be third down. Baxter on as an extra tight end. No score. Midway through quarter number 1. The 1-4 New York Jets against the 2-2 Indianapolis Colts. 3rd and 1. Martin left. First and 10 from 32-yard line. Michael Barber makes the stop.
This is an Indianapolis team at 2-2 that very well could be 4-0, Verne. They had a couple leads and they lost them. Of course, the bitter loss to Miami, the 34-31 loss last Sunday. And you wonder, the hangover from a loss like that against Miami, where they feel an instant replay, a replay decision went against them, and then playing a wounded team like the Jets. It's kind of a scenario where maybe you have an off week.
Here's Lucas looking deep, and he had Eric Green deep. He settles for Wayne Trebek short. And the catch is made at the 27. Welcome back, Wayne Trebek. Suffered a broken bone in his left foot September 3rd, the last preseason game.
Aren't many patterns and catches this routine that generate a standing ovation. That's what happens. Of course, Wayne Trebek had to go up for the ball again. Ray Lucas delivers a high one. In fact, that's not a routine catch. That was a darn good catch by Trebek on a really short pattern. But how nice that everybody here at the Meadowlands gives him a standing O.
It looked like a mix-up as Martin was going left. And the stop is made by Belser. Let's check in back across the Hudson with Jim Nance.
All right, Verne, you know, we got tipped off on the NFL Today from Greg and Phil up at New England that Dan Marino was ailing. He did start with a neck sprain and shoulder spasms, but he was picked off by Andy Casamoyer, who ran it back for a touchdown. Damon Heward replaced Marino. His first pass was returned for a touchdown by Ty Law. It's 14-0. Let's go back to you.
It is a game of quarterbacks, isn't it, Dan?
Wow. Ohio State and Michigan strike there for the Patriots. Casamoyer and Law. 3rd down.
And this one will be brought back. We have procedure and it. Walt
Prior to the snap, false start from the center, the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's the second time we've had a procedure call against the Jets on 3rd and short. This on Kevin Mawai. Did you miss a big game? Now you can relive each game from the NFL season, get stats, photos, plus complete play-by-play drive charts in the 1999 archive. Just click on NFL@cbs.sportsline.com. 3rd and 10. Scoreless first quarter, 4:24 to go. Parmalee is in the lineup. That's Dietrich Ward in motion. Here's a quick flip out to him. Parmalee with the block. And they get into field goal range. As John Hall will come on to try his second. Bennett and Mark Thomas make the stops. Well, Ray Lucas got some good effort out of his ground troops on that drive.
Yeah, he sure did, Verne. Curtis Martin coming up with his longest run of the year. And, of course, Bill Parcells is calling the plays. And he says simply, I'm calling the plays because I want to emphasize the ground game. So I would imagine that those types of conservative passes are what we're going to see a lot of, especially early on here for Ray Lucas.
John Hall. This one is not through. And Bill Parcells and the New York Jets trying to find a spark. Take an early lead.
In 1984, two computer scientists envisioned the impossible, a seamless network of computer networks. They invented the router, and Cisco Systems was born. Today, virtually all internet traffic travels across Cisco equipment, now directing millions of messages a day. And Cisco will be there as web users soar to over 300 million by the year 2002. Where do you learn about companies so integrated into the future? Exactly. NASDAQ, the stock market for a digital world.
This is your new business. And this is your new car. The new Volvo V40. Now get back to work. Every bit of Volvo for about $24,000.
What's up, Glow Boy? You need to make a call? You don't need any change. Just dial 1-800-COLLECT. Yeah, 1-800-COLLECT. You can save a buck or two. Go ahead, try it. Don't mention it. Just tell all your buddies. Tourists. 1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
Why does he think you're a witch?
I am a witch.
A custody fight becomes a witch trial.
You need help. You're using this to steal my child.
All new Judging Amy, CBS Tuesday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt and by Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo. It works.
3-0, the New York Jets lead the Colts just across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan. Here's John Hall to kick off. A 40-yard drive in 8 plays for Ray Lucas and the Jets. They get 3. Terrence Wilkins to the left returned one 97 yards last week against Miami. This will be Jerome Payton after 7. Stays near side and blocked by Robert Farmer at the 25. Colts get it for the second time. They trail by 3.
Dandruff, scratching, itching. Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
Sit down and listen to your inner voice. My inner voice says honor my inner child.
Mine says love everyone.
My inner voice says I like a Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt.
David, you need to go deeper.
Oh, okay. But Biggie fries and a drink?
Wait, my voice is saying that too.
So's mine.
When you're hungry, Wendy's Bacon Mushroom Melt with 3 strips of bacon and sauteed mushrooms in a cheddar cheese sauce is like a voice that can't be denied. When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Boy, talk about an inner peace.
So with Staples.com, you order the supplies you want, I approve them, and they're delivered the next day.
You mean I can order pens?
Yes.
Paper?
Yes.
How about an executive leather chair?
No.
Paper clips?
Yes.
Linda.
When you people are finished, I have a light bulb in my office that he's changing too. I love the way they pull together.
Want great prices on everything, even furniture? Staples.com.
Look! Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up.
3:26 remaining opening quarter. Peyton Manning, the Indianapolis Colts, second possession. And they've got the ball at their own 25-yard line. This is a team that has shown marked improvement from a 3-13 record last year. As Dan said, they quite easily could be 4-0. They've lost their 2 games inside the last 40 seconds. Here's Peyton Manning with a play fake. Looks deep, fires deep, intercepted. Picked off by Victor Green at the 45. He's back to the 40. And Peyton Manning, who has been intercepted only 6 times this season, throws it right in the midsection of Victor Green.
And that's Victor's 3rd interception of the year. And that's what you expect from your safety. Outstanding look at the field for Peyton Manning. He was under no pressure whatsoever. Marvin Harrison working the one side, E.G. Green there, and he just underthrew it into double coverage. And that's a situation where you don't see a lot of bad decisions made by Peyton Manning, but that's one of them right there, trying to force that ball to Green. You know, one of the things they really complimented Manning with was his ability to throw it away. He should have done it there.
Here's Lucas for Quebec. Gets it on the rebound in front of Jeff Burris at the 20. Until 1 o'clock this afternoon, Ray Lucas had appeared in 27 games and had thrown 7 passes, completing 4. He's now 7 for 9 in the first quarter.
Well, he's already had a career. Way to stay with it by Wayne Crabette. And, of course, he was aided by the fact that after Burris touches, nobody else from the Colts came in to put the hit. Somebody should have come in and put a second hit on Wayne Crabette.
Johnson wide right. Diedrich Ward left and Crabette in the slot. Blitz coming. Lucas goes in the corner for Keyshawn Johnson. Good coverage from Jeff Burris.
And a good job by Ray Lucas of throwing that ball away. That, in essence, is a throwaway. He threw that ball 4 yards out of bounds, and that's where Keyshawn Johnson caught it. Outstanding coverage by Jeff Burris. Now, he's the bigger of the Colts cornerbacks, and he's just working the sideline, and Keyshawn Johnson has no chance of catching that inbounds. You'd think if you're going to run that pattern, you try to run it against Tyrone Poole, the 5'8" cornerback on the other side.
Tyrone Poole has a man more to his liking there with Dedrick Ward. Wide to the left, draw play. Verne Parmalee, number 34, and this one will come back. Ellis Johnson is going to discuss things here with Kerry Jenkins.
And I think Kerry Jenkins might want to discuss things with the umpire who threw that flag for holding. I think Kerry might have been the guilty party.
Yeah, I think so.
Ellis Johnson, the most active, the best of the Colts defensive linemen.
Holding, 71, offense, 10 yards, repeat second down.
Ellis Johnson, a defensive lineman in that 280-pound range. A real, not an overpowering guy, but quickness and slashing and change of direction, Ellis Johnson's game. And he told us yesterday, it is so much fun now because we're competitive. For the first time, we actually go into games thinking that we're going to win because we're better than the people we're playing.
Second down and 20. Here's Curtis Martin. He's got room again. Goes by Chad Cota again. And is knocked out of bounds at the 20. That'll bring up a third down. Let's go back across the Hudson. Here's Jim Nance.
All right, thanks, Verne. A wild one up the way at Orchard Park. After a touchdown by Wheatley for the Raiders, back come the Buffalo Bills. And Antoine Smith, 52 yards for a touchdown. Raiders have kicked the field goal to lead 10-7. First quarter, back to you.
All right, Jim. Oakland trying to right the ship. They had such an impressive start, losing early on to Green Bay and then winning at Minnesota, but come in with a losing record for that. 3rd and 10. Parmalee back on the field. He's the deep back behind Ray Lucas. Lucas, left side, overshoots, runs to the left. 4th down.
But I like the call by Parcells that started with the protection. It was just a 3-receiver pattern, so he kept the blockers in for his quarterback. And I think that's something that that will really give Lucas a sense of confidence if he's not back there in the pocket getting jolted every time he throws the football.
39-yard effort now for John Hall, his 3rd attempt of the first quarter. Tom Tupa again will hold it, and John Hudson snaps it back. Hall cuts this one just inside the right upright, and the Jets, who have had the ball much of this first quarter and most of the time inside the 35-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts, lead by 6. Monday on CBS, the King of Queens big screen TV is missing. And it's football season. Can you feel this man's pain watching all new King of Queens Monday on CBS? Not quite sure why that struck me as so delightful, but it did. Here's Rick Meyer. Well, we chatted with him on Friday, Dan. He said at that point he had not had a single one-on-one conversation all week with his head coach. You might have had a clue.
Well, and of course, Ray Lucas, what did he tell us about Bill Parcells? He said, hey, I just try to walk around with my eyes down. I don't even make eye contact with the guy. I'm just hoping he doesn't even know I'm here. So Bill Parcells is not a chit-chat kind of guy with his quarterbacks. And they're communicating on the sidelines, both of them wearing armbands. I bet you Ray scurried to find his this morning.
I bet he did.
When he was told by Parcells that you get the start.
Terrence Wilkins, Jerome Payton, the 2 men deep. Here's John Hall's kick. Payton grabs it at the 10. That's not a particularly impressive kickoff, but very good special teams play. The tackle is made by Casey Daly, number 94. Now let's check in with Bonnie Bernstein.
All right, Verne, one of the things that Payton says he credits to his improved play is his confidence, but offensive coordinator Tom Moore tell you there are 2 things that stick out. Number 1, his recognition and awareness of the protections, and number 2, the fact that he just has great recall. He could make a mistake or misplay something back in week 8 of last year, and the next time he sees it, he won't make a mistake twice. Verne.
All right. Here's Edgerrin James on the handoff, and he's out to the 30-yard line. Now, Tom Moore said last night 2 other things about Peyton Manning. He loves the game. It's important to him. The game is. And doing well is important to him.
Well, bloodlines.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
That's right.
I have been a friend of Archie Manning's for almost 30 years. We came out of college together, played in bowl games together, and that acorn did not drop too far from the tree.
Hand off Edgerrin James. Out to the 32. It's going to bring up a third down and short. Edgerrin James, the fourth pick in the draft, and a surprise to many. Peyton Manning said last night he was kept aware by Polian in the front office of what they wanted to do. Marshall Faulk wanted to renegotiate. They had a decision that they were not going to do that. They told Manning that they were going to trade Marshall Faulk if they could. They did, and selected this man to help build this offense. 3rd and 1. Blitz. Incomplete. Brian Cox.
And that's where Brian Cox does his most effective blitzing, right up the middle, number 51. And for some reason, he's just turned loose by Larry Moore, the center, who goes over and double teams with his right guard. Oh, you don't take a big guy like that who steps right up on the line of scrimmage and just wave your left arm at him and say, Peyton, you're on your own, buddy.
Rookie Hunter Smith back to punt for the second time. Diedrich Ward waiting at the 25. This one sailed.
There's a punt and a half.
Whoa! After a half a punt. And Ward is out to the 28-yard line. A 58-yard punt.
Whoa, Nelly.
20 on the return. That's the end of the first quarter with the score 6-0 Jets. We'll return. Verne had a season for the ages in 1998, leading his team, the Jets, to the AFC Championship game. And then, of course, Achilles injury, game 1 this season. And a season filled with such promise became a cloudy picture. Here's the pass by Corbett, or to Corbett. And Ray Lucas is now 8 of 12 in the early going. And they lost Corbett, of course, the last preseason game, but it was the Vinny Testaverde injury that just seemingly took the heart out of this team, and it's been hard for them to get it back.
Again, a good, just solid pattern working out of the slot, which Wayne Corbett does so well, working against the rookie linebacker, Mike Peterson. And that's a matchup I'm afraid that Wayne Corbett will take advantage of all afternoon if the Colts continue to do that.
Curtis Martin burst into the secondary, first down, out to the 48-yard line. That is a gain of 10.
Well, Bill Parcells said he was looking for a spark from Ray Lucas. Well, it appears to have sparked this entire football team. Defensively, the Jets are playing aggressive, hard hitting. This is as good of a running attack as we've seen out of the Jets, maybe better than they have displayed all year long. Martin coming in with a 3.8 per carry average. And Ray Lucas, they've had 3 drives so far. He's led them to 3 potential scores, 2 successful field goals and 1 miss, and this is their 4th. They're on the move again.
Play fake by Lucas, looking left all the way, 7 short to Martin. Damped out of the tackle. He is caught a drop as he gets to the 45-yard line. Nice play fake by Ray Lucas. Now, Lucas said he took half the snaps in practice this week, so he had an idea that he might get called on today.
But I'm assuming that he thought if he was called upon, it would be because Rick Meyer failed to get anything happening. Excellent protection up front, and normally that's a checking down process to find Curtis Martin, and Ray Lucas successfully worked his way through his reads.
2nd down and 3. 6-0. Jets lead it early second quarter. And this one, Martin is hit behind the line by Larry Chester and manages to get into the hands of Cornell Bennett at the 45-yard line. Coming up tonight on 60 Minutes, why can elderly Americans buy prescription drugs across the border in Canada for a third of what they cost here? 60 Minutes tonight. 3rd down again.
Well, if they can, next time we go to Buffalo.
Do you think we have Buffalo in our future?
We'll scamper across the border for that. We'll load up because we're elderly citizens.
That's right. It's good to have a guy 50 and older sitting next to me.
Oh, thank you. Meeting of the Graybeards.
Here's Keyshawn Johnson, first down. Jason Belzer was there.
Well, if this is what Bill Parcells has seen in practice the last couple of weeks, you can see why he makes the switch to Ray Lucas. Because all he has done in this game so far, with the exception of the one ball that he floated high to Keyshawn Johnson, he has thrown the ball very crisply, very sharply into the right person. Things you kind of like on your field.
Eric Green in motion. Here's the cross to Martin. They come left again. And Curtis Martin, now better than 60 yards in the first half. He's down to the 31-yard line. Larry Chester makes the tackle.
Boy, and this is the way you like to see an offensive line respond with a new quarterback in a must situation. This is great blocking. Jumbo Elliott pulls out, ties up Cornelius Bennett. Great lead blocking up front. Jenkins, Mawai, everybody. This is really a very assertive game to this point by the front line of the Jets.
Second down and 4. Corbett comes in motion and goes back. Here's Martin for the 11th time. And this time he's stuffed as he gets close to first down yardage, however, at the 28-yard line. Mike Peterson makes the tackle. See if they got enough to move the chain again. The Colts still do not have a first down in this game. And if this is a 1st and 10, it would be the 9th.
And the only real major mistake of the game to this point in time has been the mistake made by Peyton Manning. 16 total yards on only 7 plays for the Colts. They are being strangled by the Jets defensively. And this drive continues.
First downs to none. And a 6-0 lead. Ray Lucas, getting his first start of his career, has played as a wide receiver. Special teams standout, was inactive in week 1 when Testaverde went down. Here's Green in motion. They hand it to, Curtis Martin bounces off the tackle and comes to the left. But he is stopped and dropped by Cornelius Bennett. Michael Barber with the early contact.
Yeah, Michael Barber ran through there untouched, and he got contact, but he didn't get the tackle. Hey, how exciting is this for Ray Lucas, though? That Harrison, New Jersey, he's a Jersey kid playing here at the Meadowlands, and I wonder if he had time this morning to make a few phone calls to say, you're not going to believe this.
My guess is he didn't.
But the man just came up to me and said, you're starting.
I don't think he was told very early this morning. Second down and 14. Blitz coming. Lucas, good blitz pickup across the middle, caught by Quebec. First down at the 18. That was a pretty play.
Well, to go on with that, Verne, we were notified at 11 o'clock this morning by Bill Parcells, and he had not yet told the team. The team was still unaware of it. Vintage Wayne Corbett, working the middle of the field, working in traffic. You know Wayne Corbett is a hard-working receiver because he's seldom, if ever, tackled by just one guy. There always seems to be 1 or 2 people in the neighborhood, and he seems to take contact from multiple tacklers.
Wayne Corbett broke that bone in his left foot last preseason game, and he's got a 3-inch pin. That is a permanent part of his anatomy now, lower part of the left foot. Here's Lucas coming left. He's got Richie Anderson. Anderson puts the tackle, touchdown.
Ray Lucas, go get that ball. Go get that ball, buddy. That's your first touchdown pass. I hope somebody brings it over for him. They'll paint that baby up green and white, and you keep that for the rest of your life.
John Hall for the extra point.
Hard to imagine a better beginning for the New York Jets than Bill Parcells.
In mop-up duty last season after he had played in 14 games. Ray Lucas hit 1 of 3. That gave him career numbers of 4 out of 7. Today he gets his first start in the National Football League, and he has been terrific. A total of 12 out of 16 for 112 yards for the young man who played collegiately at Rutgers.
And played the quarterback position very well at Rutgers. Record-setting, all sorts of touchdown passes. It's not like he's some converted special teams player.
Short kick, bobbled early on and picked up by Wilkins. He gets back to the 24-yard line. Ray Lucas, Richie Anderson, 18 yards. Belser missed the tackle. And the New York Jets increased their lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Nextel, how business gets done. The United States Army, be all you can be. And by GMC, do one thing, do it well.
Back at Giant Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, a 13-0 New York Jet lead. 9:06 to go before the halftime break. Go back and take a look at Ray Lucas's reaction on his first NFL touchdown.
Well, he doesn't expect to get a touchdown out of this. While he was down, he didn't see the missed tackle by Jason Belser, and what a surprise that he ends up getting 6 points out of a relatively routine throw.
This is the 10th play from scrimmage for the Indianapolis Colts, and it was almost a big one. Edgerrin James out across the 35. The tackle is made by Marvin Jones.
These players, Verne, have had a problem staying warm. Now, let's be serious. They left the field an hour and 15 minutes ago to go into the locker room prior to the start of the game, and in the meantime, they've run 9 plays. 9 plays in the last hour and 15 minutes. So no one wearing a white jersey offensively for the Colts or defensively for the Jets here has even broken a sweat yet.
And the first Colt first down comes with 8:40 to go in the half. Here's Manning, crossing pattern, Marvin Harrison. He's trying to get by Mo Lewis, and he is tackled up at the 49-yard line.
Now there's a sign of respect for Mo Lewis. Marvin Harrison looked up and saw Mo Lewis and said, "No thanks." Talk about the discretion is better part of valor. Watch this. He's going to cut back. There's Mo Lewis. No thanks. No thanks, Mo. I'll catch you another time.
Back-to-back first downs, and Harrison gets it out to the 49-yard line. Under 8 to go first half, and here's Manning with a play fake. Comes across the middle deep for Dilger. He's got a first down as he gets by Dwayne Gordon. 25-yard gain.
Well, we're going to have a conference here. Dilger went immediately saying that he got it. It was ruled on the field a completion.
Peyton Manning is trying to get his teammates around him to call a play.
Yep, Peyton is trying to get to the line of scrimmage. It is a very smart football.
He wants to get the play call before there's a challenge made.
Walt Coleman looking at his belt. Walt Coleman looking at his belt as if he'd been buzzed. Oh, a very poorly placed left thigh there. Let's see it from here. Whoa, no, I'm not sure about that.
Well, Dan,
I think Bill Parcells has challenged this.
Yep. And as you and I have learned in the first 5 weeks of this season, there are varying explanations of what constitutes indisputable visual evidence.
All right, we start with the fact it was ruled a completion. Ooh, it looked like the ball bounced off the ground. Certainly, there's a question as to whether Dilger demonstrated possession after he was on the ground. Keep in mind, you must land and demonstrate possession of the football. In other words, you have to keep it. Part of the problem that Bill Parcells had to challenge this was that in a hurry situation like that, we as the network don't get a chance to bring up a whole lot of replays for them to peruse. All right, here's another shot at it. See, does that bounce up? I see the ball bouncing up. Does it bounce up off the palm of his hand or off the field?
and define indisputable visual evidence. I don't know that that's enough to overturn the play call on the field.
I'm not sure he demonstrated possession of the football after he's on the ground. Even the ball coming out late might be enough that Walt Coleman will rule this an incomplete pass.
Now, Jim Mora's team had one overturned on them last week against Miami. Very controversial call by Jerry Austin.
You have to land on the ground and show that you have possession of that football. In my mind, that's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. Keep in mind, that would be an overturn. It was ruled a completion on the field. That's where we start.
If the challenge is denied, it costs Bill Parcells a timeout. This is supposed to be done within a 90-second period.
And of course, keep in mind, Jim Mora and everyone for Indianapolis a little raw about this replay process because of a play last week with Miami and Dan Marino, a play that on the field was ruled a fumble, but upon review was reversed and called an incomplete pass.
Now, Coleman has made his decision. Now we'll stroll out and let us know what it is.
My guess is it's going to be an incomplete pass.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Completed catch. He hit the ground with the ball. Then as he was rolling over, the ball came out and it recovered the fumble. The Jets will be charged a timeout. The first timeout.
It all boils down to one man's interpretation, and that's Walt Coleman, the referee. So Coleman is ruling that Dilger had his hand under the football when it bounces up right there, and that he fumbled it and then recovered his own fumble. That's the process. If I'm the referee, it's an incomplete pass, but I'm not the referee.
Well, I just clamp down on this whole meaning of indisputable visual evidence. Here's Manning for Harrison.
Well, and you bring up a valid point, Verne, because that's where we start. We start with the fact that it was ruled a catch on the field.
Well, the reason feelings are raw in Indianapolis is because last week against the Miami Dolphins, Dan Marino went back to pass. Sean King hit him. That was initially ruled a fumble. Then, after the challenge was made by Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Austin, in effect, overruled himself and called it an incomplete pass. Miami kept possession of the football, went on and scored a touchdown. A toss to Aronde Getz, and they won it by 3. Here's the toss to Edgerrin James, and he's down at the 22-yard line. Marvin Jones makes the tackle.
Obviously, very subjective, and only one person votes.
Rams quarterback Kurt Warner isn't the only ex-Arena League star making an impact in the NFL. This is a segue. Log on to NFL.com for a look at Miami's Aronde Gadsden, who was one of the heroes in that Miami victory, no matter how controversial last week. Third down. Manning out of the gun. Goes deep right side. Colts touchdown. Terrence Wilkins makes the grab. A free agent signed this summer. He has had an enormous impact on this Indianapolis offense.
This is a guy who has just played his way onto the field by making plays. Jim Mora said, I can't keep the guy on the sidelines. He's a tiny guy. He weighs less than 180 pounds. Now, it helps to have a perfectly thrown football, which is what this is from Peyton Manning. You can't drop it in like that very often. The coverage, how's it a whole lot better by Ray Mickens? He's right on top of him.
Extra point is up and good. Dormant for a quarter and a half. The Indianapolis Colts young offense explodes for 7. Back in Giant Stadium, East Rutherford, 13-7 now as the Colts get the touchdown grab from Terrence Mickens. That is 18 consecutive games in which Peyton Manning has thrown a touchdown. That is the longest current streak in the NFL. Second for Terrence Wilkins. And it comes over, I think it's fair to say, beleaguered Ray Mickens, who has been hounded here in New York. He had a dismal game against the Washington Redskins earlier this season and was replaced as a starter, though he was back in the starting lineup today.
Two evenly matched guys, though, both 5'8". Mickens about 5 pounds heavier than Wilkins.
Here's the kickoff taken by Dwight Stone off of Danny Pike's kick, and Stone breaks the tackle. Out across the 40, good field position for the New York Jets. Steve Mohammed makes the stop with a 45-yard counterpunch.
And what we've seen out of the Jets so far, Verne, still in the first half here, is a team demonstrating some of the pride that took them to a 12-4 record last year. Realizing that they just have to do something. A colossal disappointment on Monday night against Jacksonville, and Dwight Stone and the special teams take their turn in providing a spark in this game. But so far, it's been everybody in a green jersey has participated.
They get Cornelius Bennett against Wayne Corbett in the slot over here. And they immediately go to Corbett. I think the Jets would like that matchup for a while.
Well, you know, maybe the Colts are taking a chance thinking that Ray Lucas isn't skilled enough to find that matchup. You know, there's having a matchup that you can take advantage of, and then there's finding that matchup. Well, Ray Lucas was all over him. And he looked up and saw 97 standing over there, and Cornelius Bennett is playing good football for the Colts. Jim Mora couldn't be happier, but he is not going to cover Wayne Corbett. Never.
Why? 5 catches now in the early going for Corbett.
Maybe in Buffalo 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, but not now.
Lucas play fake, deep left side, Corbett. Bills are covering this time, and the pass overthrown. 5:27 to go. Well, the first 4 times they had the football this afternoon. A missed field goal from John Hall, then back-to-back 3-pointers, and the touchdown catch by Richie Anderson.
And with the exception of the third drive, they all involve multiple first downs, eating up the clock. And Rick Meyer, again, if you joined us late, just found out this morning that he was going to be replaced by Ray Lucas.
On second down, they hand it to Curtis Martin. He gets a block from Richie Anderson, the lead block on the right side. And Fabini was also over there to help supply a convoy. In the last 4 games, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And today, they've been potent. So the spark has been lit.
Well, can the spark become a bonfire? And a bonfire is what the Jets need at 1-4.
Yeah, they do.
They need to win a couple, get to the bye, and see what happens from there.
Eric Green, 2 catches for the season. He's going to block on this play, but he doesn't get a chance because Chad Bratsky it is. 92 instead of 52 comes through and makes the stop. And
Bratsky, some familiarity playing at this stadium.
Yes.
I wonder if he walked into the Giants locker room by mistake when he arrived here today with the Indianapolis Colts. One of those free agents that the Colts just suffered mightily last year defensively. How many double digits lead? Double digits, 5 of them or so?
They gave up 5 double-digit leads in posting a 3-13 record. So they had 5 key acquisitions defensively in the offseason. Here's Tom Tupa's first punt today.
Yeah, 2 new defensive ends in Bratsky and King, Chad Cota, and Cornelius Bennett. They really went to work on it.
That's not a particularly effective punt. And here's Wilkins out to the 25-yard line. 31-yard Tom Tupa punt. 12 on the return. Colts get it back. And they trail by just 6.
Yeah, is sponsored by the Wide Track Grand Prix by Pontiac and by Gateway.
Colts come in 2-2. Defenders will get a rest. That's Tony McCoy, number 61. And Peyton Manning in the Colt offense on the field. 18 consecutive games in which he has thrown a touchdown. 1 interception today, equaling the 1 touchdown he threw to Terrence Wilkins. Manning going deep across the middle for Payton. Diving, try, got it. Nope, they're going to rule this as a trap. incomplete.
Well, the field judge makes the call from behind the play, so this ought to give us exactly the look that he saw, and pretty clear. One hopper right off the turf.
Second down and 10. Manning's modest numbers for the day. And off, Edwin James down to the 25-yard line. Monday on CBS. Why is a healthy guy like Raymond making out his will? And what's in it that's driving his family to an early grave? Find out on an all-new Everybody Loves Raymond Monday, right here on CBS. 3rd and 10 Colts, trailing 13-7. Make it officially a 3rd and 9.
Okay. Whatever you say, Verne.
I want to be graphically correct. I know I can't be politically correct. Manning. Wilkins made the cut in front of Marcus Coleman. First down, Colts at the 42.
Well, I'm assuming that Peyton Manning intentionally underthrew this pass. He's taking a real risk. But Wilkins, looking at the football, is able to make the adjustment. Coleman wasn't looking at the football, and he got caught short. That's a risky pass, though. If Marcus Coleman happens to be looking back at the football, you could have 6 the other way.
2:34 to go before the break. James coming right. James in the secondary trying to break a tackle. Caught and dropped finally at the 39-yard line. That's a gain of 18. Victor Green got him.
By far and away the biggest hole that Edgerrin James has seen so far in this game. Mo Lewis gets stretched to the outside, and the inside pursuit from Ferguson and company pretty late getting over there. Jim Moore telling us the reason he went for Edgerrin James, twofold. One, he wanted a back that could play on all 3 downs, and he thought he just had a little more.
That would make him a scat back.
Yes, it would.
2 to go in the first half, 13-7 Jets lead. It seems just a moment ago we were talking about this total domination by the Jets. And look at this.
Well, they have kept the football. They've put all these wonderful scoring drives together. Now they're running the risk, though, here inside the 2-minute warning that if they don't watch out, Indianapolis has a shot to go into halftime with the lead.
First down and 10. Peyton Manning is bunched back at the line of scrimmage. And Manning will throw. Goes across the middle. Marvin Harrison dragged down by Brian Cox after a gain of 4. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. 2nd and 4, Manning finds Harrison, drops the ball, gets it back. There's a one-hopper right back into Marvin Harrison's midsection. Brian Cox made the tackle.
Well, if you want to call it a tackle, Brian Cox led the assault against Marvin Harrison. I think Harrison would say, Peyton, don't do me any more favors by throwing that quick slant right at Brian Cox. And you can see Manning just can't get on the same wavelength.
Yeah, they moved the ball. Walk home.
Well, the Colts will lobby to have a little time put back on the clock.
On the field.
What was moving?
So the upstairs official has ordered a review of the last play. This play coming inside the 2-minute warning, and control of the replay system passing into the hands of the official, who in this case is Tony Viteri.
Well, in my mind, it was pretty obvious that Marvin Harrison caught the football, came down with both feet on the ground, firmly put it away, and then took a big shot from Brian Cox, fumbled it and recovered it.
I would concur. Now, this is not a coach's challenge. This is ordered by the replay official, who is a part of the crew.
When he catches it, puts it away. I mean, in my mind, that's a free football. Whomever recovers it keeps it, and it was Harrison himself.
There, the feet on the ground. The drop, the recovery.
See, I was always under the impression that to be reviewed inside the 2 minutes of the first half and the end of the game, that it really had to be something that had a high likelihood of being overturned.
And remember the theme that was established in August.
Viewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. We have a completed catch, and then a fumble, recovers his own fumble. Be third down.
The purpose of the replay system was to overturn egregious errors.
This is relatively open and shut in my mind, and the spotting of the football was right there at the 30-yard line. It was well executed by the officials on the field.
3rd and 1, micromanagement. Here comes the blitz. They go across the middle, and Marcus Pollard, I think, might have been distracted by the umpire. And it'll be 4th down. Not sure about that, but looks like Pollard had to give way trying to establish his lane.
Well, at this position on the field, Verne, I'm sure the Colts are going to go for it instead of kicking a field goal. Marcus Pollard, only reaction to the football was to duck. I'm not sure that's what Peyton Manning was looking for out of his receiver.
4th and 1.
Putting your hands up and attempting to catch it might have been an alternative.
Blitz again. Manning, good protection, deep left side. They've got Mickens and Payton, and the pass is not there.
Ooh, aggressive play calling by Tom Moore and the Indianapolis offense. On 3rd and short, first of all, to go to 2 passes. Well, that's how much they believe in Peyton Manning. But on 4th and short, to go for it all. Well, you can't get on Ray Mickens here. He had the good coverage, and Peyton Manning, I think he's saying, I'll take that one. I just led my guy a little too far. Well, that's the kind of confidence that they have in this guy. It is Peyton's team, his offense. And if you got a critical play, I guess you certainly want it to be in his hands.
1:05 to go before the break, and the Jets get it back. And we'll go from the shotgun. 13-7 lead. Lucas finds Parmalee, who then...
We got a flag down there too, Verne.
Nailed by Sean King. And Lucas is in pain. Ineligible receiver downfield, Jets. And Ray Lucas injured on that last play.
Ray kind of looks like he's flexing that right leg like something's not where it was at the start of the play.
Right. It was Mark Thomas who made contact with him.
Ineligible downfield early on a pass. Offense number 77. A penalty's declined. It's 2nd down.
Well, they're going to decline the penalty because of the fact that they lost yardage on the play. It was a completed pass. But let's take a look at Ray Lucas and see what happens at the end of the play. All right, under pressure. Dragged down and rolled up by Mark Thomas, but I didn't see anything really drastically altered on his leg there as he got rolled around.
Well, he makes the handoff here to Bernie Parmalee. And we've got 45 seconds to go. NASDAQ halftime report with Jim Nance, Craig James, Randy Cross, and Jerry Glanville. Scores and highlights on this Week 6 of the 1999 National Football League season, presented on CBS. 3rd down.
And the Jets allowing the clock to run. And in this situation, I think Bill Parcells more than happy to go to the locker room with the lead. I don't look for them to be unbelievably aggressive. No, and the crowd boos a little bit, but you know something? A guy making his first NFL start. The Colts are going to take a timeout, I would imagine. They'd at least like to get the punt return.
Indianapolis uses one of its allotment of 3 timeouts. Stop the clock. Terrence Wilkins is back, waiting to punt.
And if I'm Tom Tupa here, I don't kick it anywhere near Wilkins if I can. Now, he's the only deep back for Indianapolis, but I would feel free to head for a sidelines here with this punt.
14 seconds to go before the break. Wilkins, fair catch, makes the grab at the 14-yard line. That's a 48-yard punt, and nothing on the return. And so now 7 seconds to go as Peyton Manning and the Colts come back on the field.
I think you have a better chance of Wilkins returning a punt for a touchdown than you do of Peyton Manning doing something here with 7 seconds left on the clock.
In other words, you're questioning the fair catch.
Yeah, he fair caught it because of the clock. He knows if he takes off and runs with the punt return that it probably uses up all the time. But with his explosiveness, I'd almost rather have Terrence Wilkins taking a shot at it on a punt return. Now watch Peyton Manning go in. 85-yard touchdown pass here, but I'm just playing the percentages. Well, look at this there. Now, why would you fair
all of that for this?
Why would you fair catch and do that? Verne, you can explain this to me at halftime because I'm scratching my head.
My partner is befuddled.
And it's a fairly regular.
For the start of the third quarter, you had a sense from what Jim Mora told Bonnie Bernstein that he's not discouraged by the way things went in the second quarter.
Well, I still think that Jim Mora thinks he has a better football team now. Whether he does or not, we'll see here in the second half. If you are the New York Jets, you just have to be thrilled with the way Ray Lucas has done with this offensive football team. What he's done, over 200 yards, no turnovers. How can you ask for that much more for a guy making his first NFL start and holding the ball for over 20 minutes here in the first half, Verne? So if you're Bill Parcells, you got to be thrilled.
And yet. 13-7. And the Colts will kick it deep. It is taken by Terrence Wilkins. And he is cut down as he gets out to the 28-yard line. Now to check in with Bonnie Bernstein.
All right, Verne, you and Dan are correct in saying that Bill Parcells is very happy with Ray Lucas and the way he's moving the ball. The thing that's frustrating Parcells is something that really bothered the Jets early on in the season. Penalties. He said we had 3 offensive line penalties, a tight end penalty. Those are drive killers, and we can't afford for that to happen if we're going to win this game, Verne.
All right, they lead at 13-7. The Jets are on defense. And Peyton Manning and the Colts, first down and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Aaron Glenn on Marvin Harrison, bottom of the screen. Manning with a play fake. Pumps once, comes right, Marvin Harrison, and he is popped. And a flag is going to go down on Victor Green.
Yeah, you, as a safety, you have to make a decision whether or not to go ahead and deliver that blow to a receiver if you have already seen that he can't catch the football or didn't catch the football. It's the NFL protecting a receiver in a defenseless position.
They might eat the flag here.
Well, the flag was thrown, but we're having, needless to say, a conference. You would have been asking a lot of Victor Green to pull up, and Walt Coleman is asking a lot.
We have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 21, helmet-to-helmet contact.
So the rule is he led with a helmet.
Now, if you're a New York Jets fan, right now you're thinking back to Jason Belzer in the first quarter laying out Keyshawn Johnson. Now, that was a direct helmet-to-helmet blow. And Victor Green meant to hit Marvin Harrison that hard. Now, I'm sure he didn't mean to hit him helmet-to-helmet. But if you're the Jets right now, you're going, well, why is it okay for one of the guys from Indianapolis to lay out my guy? That's more body position against Victor Green than anything else. He led with his head.
Fourth penalty against the Jets. First down, here's Edwin James. Works it out to the 48-yard line. Rick Lyle, number 95, makes the tackle.
You know, Verne, those are all such subjective calls.
Right.
You know, you really feel, well, geez, wait a minute. Our guy takes a huge hit from their safety, gets, you know, knocked out of the game for a couple plays, and nothing happens. But our guy does the same thing to one of theirs, and he gets the call. It's body position here on the part of Victor Green. He squared up and hit him directly with his head.
2nd and 5. Manning looking left all the way. The slant pattern, the pass complete for the first down to Jerome Pathan at the 45-yard line. 13-7. Colts trailing. They were down 13-0. at 1 point in the first half. 10 first downs for the Jets and none for Indianapolis. But they have climbed back in it and are moving now in the opening possession of the third quarter. Play fake again. Deep left side, incomplete, intended to Peyton. Peyton Manning talking last night about play fakes are really nothing more than a matter of effort.
He started hearing that when he was still at Tennessee and saying it's just a commitment. It's work to carry it out. And he has worked so hard and has become a very effective play-action quarterback. Those hits well after the play and relatively meaningless. And he said, you know, I looked at guys who I knew were good. Dave Craig, a name he brought up, Boomer Esiason, who I think one of the great play-action quarterbacks of all time.
Here's the drop right. And Edwin James is caught and dropped. No gain, it'll be third down. Just to complete that thought about Peyton Manning, he said the real key to the effectiveness of a play fake comes when you actually hand the ball off, that you don't quit and watch the play.
We did have a couple of chuckles about Brett Favre.
Yes.
And Brett Favre is a bit of a showman sometimes after he hands off the ball. He kind of fakes the old Harry Gilmer jump pass and has a little fun with the defense. I think Brett's just entertaining himself, to tell you the truth. I think he finds it so mundane to just hand it off. It's too boring.
3rd and 11. Blitz is coming. Brian Cox, good blitz pickup. Manning does get a little pressure, and it's incomplete. Good coverage downfield, and it's Aaron Glenn, the Pro Bowler, shadowing Marvin Harrison.
And you mentioned the word late. You're right, Verne. The pressure up the middle on Peyton Manning was late. This is outstanding coverage by the New York Jets in their secondary. Peyton Manning looking, and can't find anybody to throw, and Aaron Glenn just smothers Harrison. The pocket stands up for a while. Manning has plenty of time to stand back there flat-footed, survey the field.
And now 4th down. Anthony Pleasant came through and put the pressure on Manning. Little pooch kick off the side of his foot, and very effective. He gets it out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. This one spotted at the 13. Ray Lucas and the Jets have a 6-point lead. Jets get it on offense for the first time in the second half, and they do so with their worst field position of the day. Recall they had it inside the 40 on 4 occasions in the first half. But nice Colt drive followed by the pooch kick from Hunter Smith, and here's Ray Lucas one-hopping it behind Wayne Forbett. Now, Ray Lucas found out this morning that he was going to be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. Bill Parcells telling him. And Danny had a really effective first half.
Yeah, he really did. A good look at him there, faking the throw, running it. Here's his touchdown pass to Richie Anderson after the missed tackle by Belzer. And a little bit of a scare here right before the first half. Lucas comes up limping a little bit after that hit after the throw. And how about that aggressive play call by Bill Parcells, play action on 1st and 10.
This time he goes into the right flat, and it's a little behind and high for Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, right now, Bill Parcells is telling his team and telling all of us what he thinks of Ray Lucas. He's protecting a lead. He's backed up to his own goal line. And where I would have bet just about anything that we're going to see a heavy dose of Curtis Martin, we see 2 consecutive throws by Ray Lucas. Now, unfortunately for the Jets, both of them incompletion.
Here's the way he has distributed the ball today. Thrown 9 to Quebec, 5 to Johnson, and 7 to the assortment.
Where he's had any problem at all throwing the ball, it's been hot.
Play fake, Lucas with protection. Now he'll take off and run, and he does. Close for the first down. Now he slid.
Watch this spot.
And watch the spot, because he slid feet first.
That's the whole thing. When you slide feet first, it doesn't matter how far you slide before being touched. Your forward progress ends right there. You can't ask for the protection and the distance at the same time. The minute it is a feet first slide, right there, where does he sit? Where does he go down? Well, that's if that's an accurate reflection, it ought to be a New York first down.
Now they bring the marker from the far side of the field, though.
That piece of plastic there, well, it was accurate.
Yep.
I think next time Ray should maybe err on the side of aggressiveness. Maybe just a couple feet farther, Ray, before you go into your hook slide. But it's a good rule. You can't have both. You can't have the protection and an easy first down pickup if you go into that hook slide.
Keyshawn Johnson comes near side. Corbett split top of the screen. 1st and 10, New York. Here's Lucas. He has the pass tipped by Mark Thomas, number 90.
You see Ray Lucas working that wristband, and we've got a flag down. This was a late flag coming in. Oh, a personal foul against the offensive team. Here's something you don't see very often in a situation like this.
We have a personal foul on the offense, number 76, after the play was over. Since half the distance to the goal, and the down will count, it'll be 2nd down.
After the play, John Elliott, and let's take a look at it. There he is working right there to the right side of your screen against Bratsky. Now Bratsky, they move out of frame. But something after this, after the conclusion of the play, I'm assuming some type of a punch or a swing or something, and that really backs the Jets up. That's the type of a penalty you don't normally see a guy like John Elliott, a veteran player, incurring.
And that makes it 2nd down and 21. Here's a heavy dose of Curtis Martin. And he gets all of it back. Nice run out to the 25. That's a gain of 14. Chad Cota and Sean King make the tackle.
Well, here's a really good call by Bill Parcells. The Indianapolis Colts all the way falling into pass protection. Curtis Martin almost hurt himself on that cut. He almost tried to cut so hard back to the right that he put himself in a really awkward position, almost went down.
And he'll rest on this 3rd and 7 play, the so-called empty backfield. Lucas back, four-man rush. Dances out to the right, chased by Bennett, finds Corbett, but he can't quite make the connection. It'll be 4th down. Jason Belzer was the defender, number 29.
And right there, I think Vic Fangio saying that Cornelius Bennett is going to be my shadow. He chased Ray Lucas out of the pocket and really didn't let Ray get set in the delivery of that ball to Wayne Corbett. Throwing it back off his heels, not able to throw it accurately.
3rd time for Tom Tupa this afternoon. And Terrence Wilkins, the free agent for Virginia, drifts back and makes a fair catch. Colts get it back for the 2nd time in the 3rd quarter following a 52-yard Tom Tupa punt.
Is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. NorthernLight.com, just what you've been searching for. And by Acura.
Jets lead 13-7. Colts have the ball Tuesday on CBS. A Marine saves a woman's life and becomes a hero. So why did he just go AWOL? Find out on America's #1 action drama, the all-new Jag, Tuesday on CBS. 1st and 10, Colts. Manning with a handoff to Adrian James, going left and breaking into the secondary. 1st down, Indianapolis, all the way after the 37. Anthony Pleasant caught up with a 13-yard gain for James.
Well, a lot of people were surprised when Adrian James was chosen ahead of Ricky Williams in the draft by the Indianapolis Colts. We touched on it a little earlier, some of the thinking that went behind Bill Polian and Jim Moore's decision, but they liked his versatility. They liked the fact they see him developing into a guy somewhat like Marshall Faulk, a real aid to the quarterback out of the backfield.
Here's Manning into the flat for Adrian James, makes the catch. Yes, it was. He's not listening to Tom Moore, he's listening to you. Well, the top 5 draft picks in the draft: Tim Couch, McNabb, Akili Smith, then Adrian James. And interesting because Peyton Manning said he was a part of he was made aware of their thought processes.
Well, Marshall Faulk was so important to Peyton Manning last year. Marshall Faulk, one of the more gifted backs in the league, coming out of the backfield. He's in St. Louis now with the Rams.
And here's Here's Edgerrin James.
But Peyton Manning, Verne, saying, I can't tell you how much Marshall Faulk meant to me last year, because every time I was in trouble, he was open. He was there. He was someplace for me to go. And now, Edgerrin James is a long way from being able to fill the role that Marshall Faulk filled here for the Colts. But he brings a lot more to the table from scrimmage running the football than Marshall Faulk. Not that Marshall Faulk is bad, but this kid has a chance to be accepted.
That again. First and 10 at the 49. 13-7. Jets with a lead. Into the flat, Edgerrin James.
The old man's got something left. He's out there one-on-one with Brian Cox, and you'd think that, hey, here we got the old bull, the young bull. There's no way he gets a sniff of this. And Brian Cox stood his ground and got a pretty, he didn't level him, didn't knock him backwards, but a pretty good open field attempt there at Edgerrin James.
Second down and 5. Ball at the 46. 9:15 to go, quarter number 3. Colts trying to equal their win total of 1998 when they went 3-13. And here's Edgerrin James going in left guard and cutting back into the arms of Rick Miles near the 9-minute mark. Well, we come to you on an early Sunday afternoon. The Monday lineup on CBS. Lead it off with the King of Queens, followed by Ladies Man. Then Everybody Loves Raymond, Becker, and Family Law. All new episodes Monday night. 3rd and 2. At the 43. Out of the shotgun, Peyton Manning gets the snap from Larry Moore. Goes deep left side as his man open. That pass is caught by Jerome Pathan in front of Marcus Coleman. A gain of 15.
Not a very complicated pattern, Pathan and Coleman, but look at the job of selling it deep by Pathan. That's all in the shoulder movement and giving the impression that you're shifting gears and really going to make a run down the sideline, and he did it in just one stride. Certainly sold Coleman, recoiled a couple yards, and then late coming back in on the cover.
7th play of the drive in a game in which Indianapolis trails by 6. Here's James going left, slips, drops. Coleman comes up to put both hands on him.
Well, this is called not getting your block at the point of attack. And if you take a look at it out there, good look right there at Tarek Glenn, trying to make his block at the point of attack, Marcus Pollard, but the Jets really stuffed that at the line of scrimmage. Nobody was going backwards in a green jersey.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12, nickel defense in now for the New York Jets. Cox and Pfeiffer, the linebackers, inside. 3-man rush. They find Jerome Pathan, 2nd-round draft pick out of the University of Washington from a year ago, and that should be enough to move the chain again.
Pathan, a simple crossing pattern. Mo Lewis seemed to be a little bit mesmerized in looking into the backfield and looking at Peyton Manning, and a little late in reacting to the receiver that was actually coming across the formation right at him.
Let's see if they did get enough to earn a fresh set of downs.
Yeah. That crossing pattern, that shallow crossing pattern, involves a lot of different people being aware of where that receiver is. And it's, let's face it, for a guy like Pathan, who's 6 feet, 187 pounds, that's not the highlight of his life, running a pattern only 5 yards downfield. He's in the land of linebackers, and he'd rather not be there.
First down and 10. And you saw the graphic of the disparity in first downs, first half, second half. Manning. And again, he's got a lot of time. He goes to Marcus Pollard, and it hits one of the linebackers, Dwayne Gordon, in the back. Or Pfeiffer it is.
Well, Roman Pfeiffer, a very athletic linebacker, always being able to run a part of his game. And Pfeiffer, who's just coming into the screen right there, But Marcus Pollard that's smothering your receiver, and that's exactly what Roman Pfeiffer did right there.
And a perfect example of not using your head. 2nd and 10. James going left. Derek Glenn is there to help, and oh, what a nice open field stop made by Omar Stoutmeyer, who just joined his team 12 days ago and starts today in place of Steve Atwater.
Atwater hurt a hamstring during practice this week. The Jets weren't sure whether he was going to be able to play or not. And this looked like a move that was going to result in some big yardage for James. But wow, nice work by Stoutmeyer. That's getting his head all the way across in front. He didn't wrap him up, but he took his legs out.
Pathan goes left. Wilkins is right, and Harrison's in the slot. He's got 7 touchdown catches this year. Here comes the blitz. Manning pumps once, goes right for Wilkins, and Mo Lewis is there to smother him. It'll be 4th down.
Oh, great pressure up the middle by Brian Cox. Brian Cox is such a good pass rusher. Complaining bitterly that he was held, and I think he's got a pretty doggone good argument. There's Cox there. Look at him fight through. He gets past the center, Larry Moore, who does grab him, and he forces Manning to throw the football off balance. Brian Cox, feisty, aggressive, volatile, but he is a gifted passer. That swim move of his is as good as any defensive end in the game.
Mike Vanderjagt from 31 yards out. Steve Walsh is the holder. And the kick is up and good. The Colts shave 3 more off the Jet lead. 1 second less than 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, in a 13-10 ball game. Victor Green and Ray Mickens get a rest. Danny Kite signed this week for this specific purpose, kickoff.
Although he hasn't put one in the end zone yet, has he, Verne?
I don't think he's set off alarm bells. Dwight Stone, veteran wide receiver and return specialist, in fact, and awaits the kick by Kite.
That one's not going to make it either.
No, very short. Taken by Robert Farmer at the 13. Farmer's got some room and gets it out across the 35 to the 39-yard line. Tony Blevins made the tackle. Jets get it back. They're clinging to a 3-point lead. Too far from the Statue of Liberty, East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Meadowlands. And we are playing late 3rd quarter. The Jets have it. Ray Lucas, the starter at quarterback. First time in his career he's thrown that assignment. That's Eric Green, who has 2 catches for the season. The tight end in motion. And this one out to Keyshawn Johnson, number 19. Tackle made by Jeff Burris. This week on the CBS Wednesday movie, what would you do if someone murdered your child and then walked free? How far would you go for justice? Oscar winner Sally Field, Kiefer Sutherland. It's Eye for an Eye, Wednesday on CBS. 2nd down, 2. Jets with a 3-point lead at 13-10. Trebet. And here comes Curtis Martin. Martin is still looking for his first 100-yard rushing day of the season. Had 95 in one game earlier, and he's closing in on it now.
Against a Colts defense that hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher so far this season. Now, the Colts have already had their bye. This is their 5th game.
Right.
But no one has cracked the century mark against the Colts. Martin, 16 carries, 79 yards so far. Little time left here in the 3rd quarter.
1st and 10. And here comes the blitz. Lucas fires it out to Keyshawn Johnson, number 19, right side. He joined us late. Keyshawn belted early in this ball game, but was only out for a couple of plays. He got knocked in the head and shook it off, came back. That's his 5th catch in the ball game.
Let me tell you something. Bill Parcells took some heat for his play calling in their game against Jacksonville. I am completely impressed with his play calling here this afternoon. With a quarterback making his first start, he is giving Ray Lucas every opportunity to succeed.
Here's the toss to Martin coming left inside the 40 at the 38. And Bill Parcells reminding us in our conversation on Friday that he called every play last season from Game 3 on. Jets got off to an 0-2 start. He said he took over the Colts.
When he's, and you just take a look, is that a guy that knows how to prepare football teams, that they get stronger as the season goes on? I don't, what a telling statistic as to what an outstanding football coach Bill Parcells is.
3rd and 1. Handoff. Oh, boy, what a nice defensive play by the rookie linebacker, Mike Peterson.
You go back and you look at those statistics for Bill Parcells' teams. You know why they're like that? Because his teams are fundamentally solid. That is why the rookie's in the lineup, Mike Peterson. And does anybody think Bill Parcells is going to go for it here on 4th and short?
Has a reputation of going for first down yardage on 4th down as much as any coach in the league. And he spreads them out a little bit here on 4th and 1. See what Lucas might do in the way of a run-pass option play. Yep. How about that? I don't know. No way.
The ball ended up, did he pitch that or fumble it? Did he attempt to throw that back to Curtis Martin?
Looked like he was a quarterback at Rutgers coming down the line. And I don't know. Did he pitch it?
Well, that's why we have replay. We're going to look at it. If he pitched it, that would be something that Barry Switzer would be really proud of. Going away from us. If he did attempt to pitch it, it was a futile attempt and a big risk because it could have been picked up and run for a touchdown.
Time call. Colts have it. The sidelines now having stopped the Jets on 4th and 1. And Peyton Manning and the Colt offense, team trailing by 3. 1st down, 10 at the 46. Play fake. Little shovel pass, and it goes closer to Terry Glenn than it did Edgerrin James. Go back and take a look at the Lucas option play.
And he's just going to take it right down the line. The key play here is by Sean King, number 96. He reaches back in, and he strips Ray Lucas of the football. Ray Lucas was going to make every effort to try to drive for the 1st down. And that was just an outstanding play by Sean King, the defensive end, a free agent from Carolina that they brought in. Earned a little of his money there.
Here's 2nd down. Payton on the crossing pattern goes behind and makes the grab. He stopped at the 47-yard line. Jerome Payton, young man born in South Africa, raised in Canada, and played collegiately at the University of Washington.
Yeah, he had 50 receptions last year, Verne, and that would have gone for a lot more yardage. That was a bad pass by Peyton Manning. That was thrown behind Payton. You see, they are well below their AFC leading average of almost 30 points a game.
And facing a 3rd and 8 here. A 3rd and 3. Manning looks across the middle, incomplete.
3 really awkward-looking passes from Peyton Manning. Remember on 1st down, they tried the short little screen to Edgerrin James, and he missed him and hit Tariq Glenn. And then this. That ball low and away, and really no chance of a completion there at all. The 3 awkward-looking passes by Peyton Manning in succession.
And that brings on the rookie Hunter Smith. Dedrick Ward awaits the punt at the 10-yard line. 4th punt of the day for Hunter Smith. And a plethora of yellow flags.
Oh, there'll be a whole lot of finger pointing here.
Yeah. Oh. And the Colts are saying they got the Jets offside. Looks like Jason Ferguson might have jumped.
Just like any other play from scrimmage, Verne.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense. 5 yards. Results in a 1st down.
This used to be an automatic penalty against the offense, but if you came into the neutral zone and forced a guy on offense to jump, look to the right side here. There's the movement, and it did force one of the Colts to break his stance. And you're in the neutral zone when it happens. The new rules, it's against the defense, and that is large.
That is also the 6th Jet penalty, none for the Indianapolis Colts thus far.
That's what Bonnie mentioned. Bill Parcells said at halftime. The penalties are hurting ourselves.
Manning half roll, tip, incomplete. James Ferrier got a hand on it. corner, tipped it up, and then lost his balance as he went for the ball.
I'm trying to think of that last statement. The penalties are hurting ourselves. That was astute analysis, wasn't it?
I read somewhere you got paid a lot of money for stuff like that.
I feel good about it. Nearly intercepted. Boy, what an athletic job there by James Ferrier. Tipping that ball, fighting it on the second one, and almost coming down with it. That was nearly a career interception.
2nd and 10. 3-point game. Last minute, third quarter. Here comes the corner blitz. Manning gets protection, finds his tight end Ken Dilger, who backs up. Caught the ball off balance and is down at the 34-yard line. 7-yard gain. Mo Lewis with the tackle.
Kind of an unusual way of proceeding after a catch, wouldn't you say? You know, this is something you don't see every day. I played with a few guys that needed to back up to the pay window, but I never saw a guy that just... I don't know if Dilger was afraid to turn around for what he might see, or I don't know, but...
I know he's not going to appreciate our sense of humor.
Maybe he didn't want anybody to think he had the ball.
3rd and 3. 3-point game. Here comes the blitz. Manning finds his tight end Dilger. This time he takes a more conventional path to a first down at the 21.
Right over Victor Green. Victor Green saying, hey, I liked him better backing up.
Never ever say that Ken Dilger backs away from a fight. That's the end of the third. Welcome back to the Meadowlands. 4th and final quarter. Verne Lundquist, Dan Dierdorf, Bonnie Bernstein. The Jets hold on to a 13-10 lead. Peyton Manning. And the Colts have a first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Marvin Harrison with 3 catches today comes near side. Handoff, Edgerrin James. That's a cutback play, and he's just about into the secondary. Watch the back-to-back plays in the third quarter. Manning to Kent Dilger.
Yeah, they got this first down with 2 completions to Ken Dilger. Now, 2 different ways of moving after the catch. That, not so effective. This, boom, a little more effective. A lot of work this week, maybe, in getting Ken Dilger to remain, keeping the long axes of his body perpendicular to the goal line. Think about that, Verne.
I will. 2nd down, blitz. Manning from the corner, finds the tight end again at the 5-yard line. And that's going to be a 1st and goal Indianapolis as Dilger makes the catch for a gain of 11.
And that's his average coming into this game. Ken Dilger, a 5th-year guy from Illinois. A simple out pattern, and again, it's we've got safeties trying to stay with him. Omar Stoutmeyer. Certainly, Dilger's not going to run away from him, but bringing a big guy like Dilger down after the catch, not easily done.
Colts bring in 3 tight ends and a fullback to join Edgerrin James in the backfield. Okay. This is Paul Shields, number 39. Play fake. Cox chases him into the end zone, incomplete. Dilger was the 2nd man to take a stab at it. Paul Shields, number 39, also in the area.
Now, Bill Belichick puts Brian Cox in these type of situations, but rushing between the guards, something that Brian Cox just really has a knack for. Sometimes it involves a little delay, a stutter step, a swim. He's got a multitude of different ways of getting penetration up the middle of the offense.
2nd and goal. Okay. Marcus Pollard comes in motion near side. Edgerrin James is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a foot or 2. 3rd down. Maybe. Yeah.
Well, this is a tremendous pass blocking line that Jim Mora has in Indianapolis. I don't think they have yet found their stride when it comes to really rooting people off the line of scrimmage. Really being a bunch of bulldozers. And there's Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator and assistant head coach of the Jets. He's been in this situation before, and his counterpart Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach of the Colts.
Colts will spread it out. 3 wide receivers on 3rd down, and the audible now from Peyton Manning. The handoff to James. He tests the middle and did not get it. 4th
touchdown. Now Jim Mora gets the call. And he'll go for the tie. Edger and James and the surge just not there. Victor Green, the first one of the Jets in there to wrap up Edger and James. And based on what he saw, these 3 previous plays, you understand why Jim Mora going for the field goal. I didn't see anything that demonstrated my offense's ability to stuff it into the end zone.
18-yard field goal, Mike Vanderjagt. Steve Walsh's hold. The kick is up and good. This drive kept alive on a neutral zone violation on 4th and 3, but the Colts only get 3. Another look at the more conventional view of Mike Vanderjagt's game-tying field goal. That from 18 yards, equivalent of distance and extra point. Here's Danny Kite, number 7, signed for his kickoff specialty, and he's yet to reach, well, this one he gets into, but it's going to be returned. Taken by Dwight Stone, number 83. And Stone bursts into the open and is knocked out of bounds all the way out to the 49-yard line of Indianapolis. A 50-yard return for a 35-year-old, 13-year veteran.
And Verne, this kick makes it back to the goal line, but it was a low-line drive, very little hang time, and it really allowed the Jets to get set up into a good return. Great blocking by the wedge up front, and this is not the first time today that Stone has made something happen on a return. And again, the Jets in good field position.
Eric Green breaks off wide to the left.
That's an unusual formation.
Now here's Lucas across the middle, almost picked off. Intended for Johnson, and Jeff Burris had better position than Keyshawn Johnson did. Sean King with the pressure.
Well, they're locked up one-on-one, Burris and Johnson. Burris getting away with some holding downfield. And that ball just a little bit late in arriving to Keyshawn Johnson. And of course, you know, you would imagine that the timing isn't going to be great between Johnson and Ray Lucas. Johnson made his break. The ball should have been there about a half a second earlier.
Play fake, Lucas. Incomplete for Brabett. It was Jeff Burris again defending. And let's see what's going on elsewhere in the league. Here once again is Jim Nance.
All right, Verne, down 13 through 3 quarters. Doug Flutie takes the Bills into the end zone to start the 4th. A connection with Eric Mould, and they're down 6 now with 11:30 remaining at Orchard Park. Let's go back to Verne and Dan.
All right, thank you, Jim. 2014 there, 13-13 here. And after that hot start in the first quarter and a half, Ray Lucas is 2 of 8 in the 3rd and 4th quarters.
And Jeff Burris all over his last 2 throws.
There's the spread. 3-man rush. They drop 8. Lucas scrambling. Fuller. They've got a spy, and it's Cornelius Bennett. And he gets there about the time the pass is delivered, and they play volleyball. And it is incomplete.
And Cornelius Bennett is doing exactly what he's supposed to do, and Ray Lucas still not up. That hurt. And when you see Cornelius Bennett, his job is to shadow. Going on downfield, the coverage. Ray Lucas can't find anybody. Double coverage on Keyshawn Johnson. Now at the last minute, you got a good look at Bernie Parmalee breaking into the open. But keep in mind, this is what Ray Lucas is trying to do to deliver the football. He's trying to throw it to Bernie Parmalee as he's getting knocked backward by Bennett.
Jets can't use the excellent field position they have. And how about that play?
Whoa! That's Dwight Stone, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, what a play by Dwight Stone, elevating into the end zone to slap that punt back out into the field.
And now they're rolling touchback.
Well, we're having a conference here. Oh, and they're right.
Yep.
Oh, he was in the end zone. That's a good call.
Left foot was on the line.
Oh, well, not only that, but his feet were on the ground in the end zone when he slapped the ball.
Are they saying now they're going to give it to him?
Oh, that's an incorrect call. Dwight Stone had a speed in the end zone when he slapped that ball back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Taco Bell, Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant, and by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform, be different.
Another view of Dwight Stone's effort in the end zone.
Well, the key here is that Dwight Stone, all right, watch him launch, but watch him, forget that. Watch the conclusion. He comes down and he's standing in the end zone right there. Take a look at that. He's standing in the end zone when he swats this ball back into the field of play. Now, reviewable situations deal with boundaries and goal line. Is this not a reviewable play?
It is being reviewed.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the area where it is supposed to be reviewed. Now, in my mind, it's awfully open and shut.
That would seem to be indisputable visual evidence.
I would think so. Again, the ruling on the field was at the 1-yard line. But I think that this will make the case for Walt Coleman. Forget his launching step. He's standing in the end zone right there when he touches the ball. That's a touchback. Whether he swatted it all the way back into his teammate's arms right there is irrelevant.
Challenge made by Jim Mora. And the referee, Walt Coleman, has gone
underground,
under glass, under tent,
under
canvas.
I don't know how many times he needs to look at this.
Here's Coleman.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Whoa.
Ball is dead at the 1-yard line.
Whoa.
Indianapolis will be charged a timeout.
Do I not know the rules?
If you don't, there's room in that booth for both of us.
What am I missing here? Dwight Stone is standing in the end zone when he touches the football. Look at his right feet and look at his right hand. How is that play allowed to stand? I need somebody from the NFL to call me because obviously I'm making a tremendous error in some... I have made mistakes before, but I'm a little dumbfounded here.
Wow. I guess the replay process is a work in progress, not fine-tuned yet. But if it is designed to, here's the handoff. Paul Shields, number 39, gets the gift. Well, the Indianapolis Colts had one reversed at home against Miami last week. And Jim Mora goes for the challenge here, and the play as called is upheld.
You know, in situations like this, Verne, I keep racking my brain. Did I miss something obvious? Did I not see something that everybody else can see?
Second down and 7. There's the play fake and the pass to Shields out of the backfield. What a terrific play by Peyton Manning.
Boy, and that's where the play faking and Peyton Manning really wanting to get better at his play action passing. That's where it really reaps some dividends. Because that froze the New York defense. Now it pays to be able to fake to somebody good, and Edgerrin James falls into that category.
On first down and 10, here's Edgerrin James. Dropped at the 13-yard line. Jason Ferguson makes the tackle. Doubleheader for you on the Home Depot College football program on CBS. Miami Hurricanes against Boston College, and in the nightcap, Tennessee at Alabama. Next Saturday at 12, and it begins with Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman, the halftime report. 13-13 in this one, 10 to go. Second down and 8. By Peyton Manning, the play clock under 5. James gets the handoff. Out to the 18-yard line. Ryan Cox, number 51, made the stop. 9:35 to go.
Brian Cox. A lot of times the term reclamation has been applied to Brian and Bill Parcells, but he has gone from what some people thought of as a troubled football player to being just unbelievably productive and a real leader, doing everything you could ask of a veteran football player for the New York Jets.
3rd and 4.
They didn't get it off. It's a little late now, guys.
That'll cost him 5.
Delay on the offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Looked like Manning was calling for the ball, but Larry Moore not delivering. And you see in the background, it's already down to 0. That's where crowd noise comes into play. That's where being 5 yards away from your center, he can't hear you calling for the football. It's a silent snap count. You think it was loud before. Here it goes.
First penalty of the game against Indianapolis. 3rd and 9. Comes the rush from the outside. Ferrier, they go across the middle. Marvin Harrison short of the first down. The punting unit coming on. Victor Green makes the tackle on Marvin Harrison, who makes his 4th catch of the day.
And Marvin Harrison is being throttled by Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, as we mentioned at the top of the show, locked one-on-one with the gifted Marvin Harrison. And Aaron Glenn, a couple times to the Pro Bowl, demonstrating why.
Hunter Smith on the punt. Diedrich Ward awaits the ball at the 38-yard line. From the 35, here's Ward. Midfield. A 44-yard punt, 14-yard return. And for the 2nd consecutive time, the Jets have the ball at the 50. Last time they did nothing with it. You go in regulation. Jets have the football, trying to get their 2nd victory of 1999. Ray Lucas in a quarterback under Kevin Mariah. First down, handoff. Curtis Martin. Richie Anderson with a nice little block to help him get inside the 45. Michael Barber, number 53.
Well, we showed you all the success in the first half of the Jets offensively. Well, this has been the reverse here on their last 5 possessions. 4 punts and a turnover on downs. Change of pace here, though, on first down, rather than letting Ray Lucas throw the ball on first down, as he has the last couple times. This time they allowed Martin to carry.
Here comes the blitz, run blitz. Martin tries to get outside, does. Inside the 30, down the sideline, and he is out of bounds for the first down at the 15. Longest gain of the year for Curtis Martin, and he's now over 100 yards for the first time in 1999.
Kerry Jenkins comes around the corner and gets a fine block. Richie Anderson with a good lead block at the point of attack. The rest is Curtis Martin. Nice job of trying to tightrope him, but he's already been knocked out of bounds. Downfield, let's look at the work of Wayne Corbett. And certainly he occupies Jeff Burris to the point where he can't make the play. You don't have to put a guy on his back to be effective.
Gain of 28, 116 for the afternoon. And the play clock winds down so that Ray Lucas calls timeout. Jets use 1. They've got 2 left. We have 6:43 remaining in regulation.
It's sponsored by IBM. Are you ready for e-business? And by NASDAQ, the stock market for a digital world.
We are tied 13-13, 6:43 remaining in this one. The Jets using field position, but they've also used the running ability of Curtis Martin, and they're in good shape now.
And as I mentioned, it was a changeup. Bill Parcells, the last couple of times that they had the ball on offense, went 1, 2, 3, all throws by Ray Lucas. And now he's come back with back-to-back runs by Curtis Martin. So I think he's got the Indianapolis defense a little bit back on their heels. They're not being as predictable as they were.
First down and 10 now from the 15 in a tie game. There's the handoff to Martin. Eludes a tackle behind the line of scrimmage and picks up a quick 6 inside the 10. Tackle made by Michael Barber. 6:25 remaining. Keep in mind, just to file this one away, that both teams have used one timeout. The Colts lost a timeout on that challenge of the Dwight Stone tapping the punt back out to the 1-yard line. Second down and 4 at the 9. Here comes the blitz. Martin coming right. Again, Richie Anderson with a good block. But a modest gain of 3 feet down to the 8-yard line. Sean King makes the tackle. Curtis Martin, 4 consecutive seasons now in which he's gained more than 1,100 yards. Durable back.
Well, Bill Parcells paid a handsome price to get Curtis Martin here from New England, and he knew that you can't compete in this league without a world-class running back. But boy, he paid a bunch for him.
Out on the left, that's big Keyshawn Johnson against small Tyrone Poole.
Making hand signals back to Lucas.
Right, and they hand it off to Martin, who goes at left guard. And he is down to the 3-yard line, first and goal.
That must have been the hand signal for Well, a delay, it's the eye draw, and again, it's good work up front by the line and a good lead block by Richie Anderson. And Curtis Martin and the Jets offense has come to life. Of course, when you're an offensive player and you go into the huddle and you're at midfield, you get an adrenaline rush because of that outstanding field position.
Here's Johnson in motion, trailed by Jeff Burris. Play fake. They go to Johnson. Burris intercepts it. Here comes Jeff Burris, and he points at Ray Lucas. He guessed right. He cuts back inside. Jeff Burris had it read all the way.
Well, Jeff Burris, Verne, has almost intercepted 3 passes here in the fourth quarter. Remember, he almost got 2 back-to-back on the last series, and this time he baited Ray Lucas. Keyshawn makes just his little break on the up-hand. He's the motion guy, and right here it looks like a touchdown all the way. The ball underthrown, but that's Jeff Burris being the veteran. And he goaded Ray Lucas into that throw.
55-yard return by Jeff Burris. So Southern Cal nips Notre Dame on that play. Here's the handoff. Entering James to the 42-yard line, and the clock showing 4:25 and running.
I believe you mean Notre Dame nips Southern Cal.
You're right. Exactly.
Notre Dame wins that battle. Jeff Burris is just all over this play. Keyshawn, nothing he can do. The ball is thrown a little bit short. And when I first saw Keyshawn make his break to the outside from here, I thought it was a touchdown.
Second down and 7. Manning. Harrison to the 38-yard line. Tackle made by Ray Mickens. Boy, you could just feel the enthusiasm go out of this crowd as well.
Well, Ray Lucas did what he had to do, Verne, and that was to keep Burris from going all the way to the end zone with the touchdown. Marvin Harrison has had to work hard today. He hasn't been anywhere near the football without either being smothered by Aaron Glenn or by taking a big shot immediately after catching the ball. I don't think he can head back to the heartland quickly enough.
3rd and 3. Blitz coming. Brian Cox. That one complete at the 31-yard line. The catch is made by Marvin Harrison. And Omar Stoutmeyer comes up to make the tackle.
Stoutmeyer gets there the minute the ball does. They're flooding this zone over here. Stoutmeyer actually broke to the football and looked like he had a chance to maybe make a play on it. Verne, did you see he pulled up a little bit? Keep in mind, this is a guy that's only been here for a dozen days. Omar Stoutmeyer filling in for the injured Steve Atwater.
First down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Here's James. Weaves his way down to the 26, and the clock at 2:25 and running. Tonight on 60 Minutes, why can elderly Americans buy prescription drugs across the border in Canada for a third of what they cause here? 60 Minutes tonight. And it's powerful, all-new Touched by an Angel, followed by the CBS Sunday movie Silk Coat, starring Farrah Fawcett. That's tonight's lineup on CBS. Second down and 6. See if they get the play called before the 2-minute warning. They do not. 2 to go. Tie game. Colts. Here, Indianapolis and the Jets coming up on the American General postgame show. Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry will get you caught up on all the scores, highlights, and a recap of today's action around the National Football League. The American General postgame show. Coming next, Jeff Burris' 55-yard return of an intercepted pass, a yard into the end zone. And his Colt teammates on offense now look at a 2nd and 7 at the 27-yard line. James comes left. Nice stiff arm by Andrew James. Boy, he popped Marcus Coleman.
Yes, he did. The only player on the field is a running back who's allowed to strike someone else in the helmet intentionally. And that's exactly what he does right there to Marcus Coleman. And Edgerrin James showing a little bit of that first-round ability. And the guy's name, by the way, is Mike Vanderjack.
Yes.
Start thinking that he might have something to do with the outcome of this game.
First down and 10 at the 20, and the clock 1:54 to go. James did stop the clock when he got out of bounds. Edgerrin James got his 24th handoff, and he's down at the 10-yard line, over 100 yards on the afternoon.
Did you see the ball just get away from James a little bit there? Edgerrin James has had a little problem so far early in his rookie year of fumbling the football. And at the very end of this run, it kind of separated from his body a little bit. I know he's not a two-handed runner, but the Jets are going to be going after that ball. And you saw right there, Victor Green almost pulled it out. Victor Green almost pulled the ball away from Edgerrin James.
109 for the afternoon for Edgerrin James. Third game of 100-plus in his rookie season. On first and goal, he gets the handoff again, comes left, and is down at the 8-yard line. 1:03 to go. Mo Lewis and Eric Ogbagu make the tackle. Mike Vanderjack waits in the wings. He kicks field goals for 3 to go in regulation, 13 all. Colts trying to win their third of the season. They come in 2-2. It was a year ago this very young team under Jim Mora blew 5 double-digit leads and posting a 3-13 record. Today, they are trying to overcome a double-digit deficit and win their third of 1999.
Boy, doesn't your heart just tug a little bit for Ray Lucas?
Oh.
His first NFL start ever at quarterback. He has played just an outstanding football game, just right up until that last throw to Jeff Burris.
Second and goal from the 9. Edgerrin James caught and dropped by Rick Lyle, number 95.
Jets take another timeout here, Verne. Is that it for the Jets?
That's it. And while we've got a moment, a reminder that next Sunday, the NFL on CBS rolls out a doubleheader for you. In the early game, many of you will see the Denver Broncos at New England. Others watch Cincinnati at Indianapolis and Cleveland at St. Louis. Jets go west. They take on the Raiders. And many of you will also see Buffalo at Seattle. Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry Glanville. They took that soapbox away from Jerry again.
I saw that. Well, the only thing I know for sure is by this time, a week from now, there will be fewer little neck clams in the New England area. Some of them
are you announcing an invasion?
Are going to meet their maker.
Oh, I have seen you talk with pain, and now I will see you eat with gusto. Third down.
Little necks are going to meet the big neck.
Third and goal from the 8. Jets can't stop the clock again. 57 seconds to go. And now, going to let the...
And I think that's Jim Mora's way of saying, I have made it through the game here without Edgar and James fumbling the football.
Right.
And why try now? Mike Vanderjagt, second-year player, so this is going to be a bit of a pressure-packed situation for him. Not exactly a household name. After nothing like waiting all that time and starting to talk. That's one of my really good habits, Verne. You get the feeling Ray Lucas is going to be the quarterback of the Jets here for a while.
I do too.
After his performance today, let's just exclude that last throw, and that's hard to do, but Bill Parcells has to feel good about what he demonstrated in his first start in the National Football League. I'm just a passive observer, but boy, I like just about everything I saw.
The clock showing 24 seconds to go.
There's the numbers for Ray Lucas. Better than a 50% completion percentage. Not a lot of yards, but
the key play in this game came when Ray Lucas tried to find Keyshawn Johnson, and instead he found Jeff Burris.
Now Burris laying off underneath. If it's a throw over the top, if it is a ball with some air underneath it, if it's that type of a fade into the corner of the end zone, Burris has no chance of making a play on a tall receiver like Keyshawn Johnson. But laying off underneath on the off chance that it might be an underthrown pass, and that's exactly what it was, right to Burris' hands.
Set the clock.
Walt Coleman's mic has been intermittent all afternoon. You see he's reverted to the good old American way of trying to fix it by slapping it a couple times. Isn't that a guy thing?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, you
slap it.
You got to pound on it a few times.
Now they have set the clock at 17 seconds, so... I think things are in order.
Well, for Jim Mora, it's a three-pronged deal now. A good snap, a good hold, and a good kick. For Bill Parcells, though, the prospect of going 1-5 has to be unthinkable when he says this is a better team coming out of training camp than we had last year.
The holder is Steve Walsh. Bradford Banta will snap it back. And Mike Vanderjagt tries to make it 3 for 3 for the day. Perfect. Colts lead. And they have the lead with 14 seconds to go. (16-13) Indianapolis, trying to equal their number of wins in the season from the last 2 years.
Well, you needed three things, and you got all three. Banta delivers it right onto the hands of Walsh. Good effort, good penetration by the Jets, but Jim Mora, a bit of a reclamation project himself in a lot of people's eyes, given the reins to this young, exciting football team. And, you know, I think Bill Parcells pushed all the right buttons today. I think his call to change quarterbacks this morning, a decision he made last night, I think it paid dividends. It just didn't translate into a win. The other guys get paid to play too.
16-13 Colts. And the Jets with no timeouts left, 14 seconds left in the game. Danny Kite taken by Dwight Stone again, and this time not as successful. He is knocked down at the 20-yard line. Mike Peterson with that symbol that none of us care to see.
Acting like a rookie.
Yeah. First and 10. Ball at the 20, and the Jets with no timeouts left. Nine seconds to go. Lucas, Keyshawn Johnson, out of bounds. 5 seconds left.
Well, Keyshawn tried his darndest to get his feet down on the sideline. Good strong throw by Lucas. Just a little too far to the outside. He tried to get that left foot down, but to make the catch, it came up and didn't come down until it was well out of bounds.
Second and 10. Colts leading 16-13. They got the 27-yard field goal that is the difference in this ball game. Here's Lucas. Final play of the ball game. Ellis Johnson, who was in such a wonderful frame of mind last night. Lucas is down.
Oh, no. Don't tell me that on the final play of the game and trying to get away from Ellis Johnson, Ray Lucas hurt his leg in some way.
Richard Schmidt.